mode.
Unmute. Okay. Hello. Hi. Okay. So am I audible? Just give me a yes if I'm audible to all of you. So hello everybody. I am today's surprise. Abhishek will join you in a short while, and let with me I have another surprise and about the most awaited features we about your learning management system. So my name is Gaurav and I take care of operations here. And as we were talking about, Abhishek has spoken to and many of our other instructors that we are working towards building a community for discussion forums in our own LMS. So I'm happy to introduce you with that system, and let me know if all of you are able to see my screen, and can I take you through the whole system and how you can best utilize our new feature. Am I okay? All good. So yes, I think everybody, we know that your voice is low, request to come. Okay. So is it better now? Let me see if I can do some changes. Okay, cool. Thanks, Sachi. So voice is fine here, good. So let me start with your LMS first page. So it is, I'm already logged in as admin. Let me start from the first thing itself. Many of you are already aware of it, and for you it may be a new, and maybe you are already aware of a ticketing system, but let's go through the whole system for everybody else benefit. So here I go. Brain. Okay, so this is your home page for your learning an LMS, and you go through for this is for big data and Hadoop class. So because this is an admin login, we have access to all the courses. Let's go to the big data and Hadoop LMS page, and you can see this may if some of you may already have seen this because it's live for a day now. So if you wanted to discuss something about your course and you want to discuss it can be anything, technical, non-technical, all kind of discussion, future of technology, future of Hadoop or whatever, and in the core all your technical discussions and problems and projects. So you click on discussion forums, you will get our community forums page, and on this page the first and foremost thing, and which is the most important part of this page, is the forums page. So here you can we have already put some commonly discussed topics on big data and Hadoop, and so you can review them. I mean, they are just sample examples. So I invite all of you to join this discussion forums and make it more engaging, and we'll have our instructors, all of our instructors, not only your instructor which is Abhishek, we have all our instructor will be active on here, and all our from all the batches, all the students will be active here. So it will be a excellent repository of knowledge for all the recent topic and latest development. So you don't need to go anywhere, you don't need to search Google and find out something which is not related. So to make your life more easier, this is something you can utilize. Ping me if you have any question. Just hold on a second, okay? Just hold on a second. posted 2 topics. Great initiative. Thank you. So I was just looking at the questions in between because this is disturbing a lot, popping up of all the questions. So is there a way to post directly to forum? Yes. Directly means you have to get into Edureka and log in with your username and password. Then only you will be, because currently it is not SEO enabled. So these forums are not available on Google. We may because we are on the version 1 of this particular, so you can say this is version 2.0 and we have tested version 1.0 already, and maybe if we get into the version 3.0 we can think about going Google enabled and make it read only access to rest of the world. But as of now this is exclusive to Edureka learners, and it's not available directly, so you cannot post directly now. Rajat. So Rajat asked the question, is there a way to post directly to the forums? Okay, so these are the things. I mean, I do not waste a lot of time of you guys. Maybe you can just drop all these things in a feedback and in post survey, or drop us on hadoop@edureka.in. We can answer all these queries. Let me go through a quick walkthrough of this particular features, and then maybe we can talk about later on mails, or I can give you a call. Ebooks, yeah, you can do anything. Attach file, post ebooks, post white papers, post your projects, problems, anything. It's a typical forum discussion. Like if some of you have prepared for MBA in India, it will be your Pagal guy, very similar to Pagal guy. And if you have prepared for GMAT, it will be your GMAT club. So this is a typical discussion forum, and we have 2 additional surprises here in addition to the discussion forum. So let me just give you a quick look of a discussion forum, and then maybe we can move into those 2 surprise features here. So this will be a Big Data and Hadoop forum, and as you can see, the rest of the forums are not, you are a Big Data and Hadoop customer, so you will have all this page in front of you. So let me move to one of the common thing, maybe for example, data storage and rack. So these discussions are already going on. Priyanka, our excellent solution engineer, she has already answered one of the questions, which the kind of technical guy I am, I have just asked that question from Google or somewhere. So this is how this discussion will follow, and you can follow a particular discussion, you can reply it. Once you follow it, you will get updates on your email, and you can search most recent topic in general discussion. Sorry, I think my voice was not there. So this is a typical forum thing, and let's go to the first surprise feature today, that is solutions. So to make everybody's life easier, we are going to build a knowledge base where the most commonly asked questions, setup configurations, questions related to installations will be prepared by our solutions staff as knowledge base and solution. So you can use for example, how to install Scoop on remote machine, difference between map side and join. So these kind of knowledge base we can create, and we can have these kind of beautiful diagrams to answer your query. So you don't need to go and raise a request and or drop us a mail. You can just browse this. For example, let me search for map join. So it will give you difference. The first query is this, the first result is this. So you can search in all solutions, topics, and tickets. So tickets is the second surprise feature today. So all your tickets, for whatever mails you have sent till now on Hadoop or support from your registered email ID, this you will get a listing of all those tickets, closed, open, working on, and you can follow up those tickets from here. Okay, let me see a few of the questions now. Just My apologies guys if I'm delaying your knowledge session. Everybody okay with it? Do you want me to continue with the same speed, or you want me to cut it short and let your beloved instructor join you? Okay. So there are some questions and they're good. I think I can answer them, and then we can go ahead further. So does support team respond to any query that waiting a reply from forum member? Do they look into these content? Excellent question, Sachi. Thanks a lot for asking all those good informative questions. So this will help everybody else also. So yes, we will have moderators from our solutions team, and they will moderate these forums for everything, for quality, for content, and for replying, and to make sure that people are not publishing their blogs and all in those posts, that they're not selling those typical products. So this will be moderated, and we'll have just cut short, and let's start the topic for today. Thanks, Rajat. So I'm cutting short. The last topic of today's feature is the support ticket. So you, rather than dropping a mail to us, if you are working on your iPod or iPhone or iPad, you can just drop us a mail and we'll work on it, and that you will get a respond related to the ticket, that your ticket is created, and this is work. We are working on your ticket. But if you wanted to, look more and you're already in your LMS, you can raise a ticket from here, new support ticket. So this will be, whatever query you have a screenshot, you can attach a screenshot, or you can format your query using all the formatting option. You can insert a link and you can submit a ticket from here. So for example, let me submit a sample ticket. So this, once you submit this ticket, you will get a notification that your ticket has been created and a copy has been sent to you via email. So you'll get an email notification, and this ticket will be worked by our team. And you can follow, you can mark this, you can close this ticket, no need to respond to on emails, and you can add people in this particular ticket, you can reply, you can do all those ticketing, typical ticketing system features you can follow here. So here is, I'm done with my demo of our version 2.0 for Edureka LMS. I have some doubts related to some topic. Can I raise a ticket, or in case of some problem? Okay, so here is a question from Ramesh. If I have some doubt related to some topic, can I raise a ticket, or in case of some problem, or only I can raise a ticket? You can raise a ticket for each and everything. You have any issues with the support, you have any issues with the logistic, you have any issues in your technical issues, non-technical issues, in your class, in your batch, for any help from us, you raise a ticket from here. Okay, thanks Ramesh. So this is it for this particular feature, and the most important part and one of the important feature is the forums. So these forums are the features. We have done all this. So all those rest of the two features, solutions and tickets, are bonus for us and are a bonus for you also. So let's utilize these forums and make them live and make them more engaging for everybody else benefit. And once we have when we go further with the next releases, future releases, you may able to review those forums and discussions and topics from your Google search itself. No need to log in and come to our LMS. So this LMS, so this LMS for the lifelong means no expiration after completing the Hadoop training. Yes, Dilip. So Dilip has asked that if LMS for the lifelong means he can access these forums and solutions and his tickets for rest of his life. Yes. Discussions and forum section. Okay. I don't see solutions and tickets tab. Okay. Ambrish is saying I don't see solution and tickets tab under the discussion forum section. So this is your login. You logged into LMS and you are not able to see it, or you are not able to see in the demo. me with flooded with tickets. Yes, Sachi. Thank you. Hope, I mean, your tickets are welcome for my login. So Ambrish is having a problem. Let's just ask the technical team what is the why he's not able to see these tickets. And so Ambrish, you are able to see forums, but you're not able to see solutions and tickets. Let me see. What's maybe we need to change your roles and permissions. Solutions and tickets app. Yeah, that is a known feature, Ambrish. So if you do not have because sometimes there are chances that you suppose you are, I mean, people who are only on the read only mode and we give some access, so there are roles and permissions in terms of your accessibility. Okay, there are many people. So let us check. I'll just drop us a mail. We'll look into your permission settings in the software and solve it for you. So enjoy your class for today and drop us a mail if you are having any problem. So I'm broadcasting my email ID. You can drop me a mail directly regarding this for any issues. First of all, I mean the best thing to do is to drop us a mail at support@edureka.in for any of your LMS related queries. Okay. Can we build up? Yeah, Rajat, we are working on that. I mean, there is for that feature of progress feature, there is some issues in that and we are working on it. Our technical team is working on it and we should be able to solve it very soon. And this is my personal email ID. If you don't get response there, you just drop me a mail at gaurav@edureka.in and I should be able to make it fast. Thanks, Rajat. So I'm done for the demo. I'm sorry if I've taken a little long, but this was planned for 15 for a long time. Thanks, Sachi. Thanks for your feedback. Let's interact on more on my email ID. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your session with Abhishek.
Hello. Guys, this is Abhishek here. If you can hear me, just quickly write it on the chat window, please. Hello? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Vamsi, I saw one of your pings where you're asking, can we discuss Katrina Kaif here? I would rather let you. Yeah, you can. I mean, you can discuss that with me on my email ID if everyone doesn't like that. Okay, I will not mind it. Okay, great. So guys, today, okay, no, I did not see much before that. Okay, now okay. Yeah, Rajat and everyone, I'm sure you like Katrina more than Pig. So, I mean, obviously everyone will, but let's get to Pig today. Okay, so let's get started and let's see what we have in store today. Now, this one is going to be a little longer session because of the fact that we had this thing, and it's a very useful feature here which these guys have added. Really appreciate that, and I mean I want everyone to actually use it a lot because when I mean it depends upon you guys only how much more the use this thing, the better this repository will become. Yeah. So okay, so Vamsi has a question which I think everyone would have. Can we raise tickets for doubts even after the training is over? Yes, Vamsi, I believe so. I mean, my understanding is that maybe support team can tell you better, or my understanding is that the support here is lifetime. You can always come back and ask questions, so there's no restriction as such there. Okay, so you can come back after the training and ask. Now Rahul is asking me another question. Are there any mock test types in the forum anywhere just to test ourselves? Well, Rahul, not right now, but I think we should be adding them very soon. The team is working on that, and I think what one good thing will be that since now all of you are connected, right? One thing which we had some time earlier was that how do I get connected to all the other people? Now that you will be connected to everyone here in this class, you can keep posting questions here. There will be someone who will answer. I'll also be available here for some things. Okay. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah. So I think a lot of people will have questions during project implementation, right? I think what I will also suggest is that you should start thinking of a project now. We've seen so many data sets till now, right? Last week also we said we saw one. Now the whole purpose of doing this course is that ultimately you should be able to use this in your real life, right? So best thing will be start thinking about something. We'll also be giving you a couple of projects, but if you can think of a project. Okay, great. So Vamsi is saying I have one use case already. So Vamsi, what I would suggest is do not keep that with you like your memories with Katrina. Post your use case in the discussion forum as well, right? People will really appreciate that, and everyone, I mean, see, if 5 people come up with 5 different use cases, there will be 10 people who will improve them, and all of us, yes. So Rajat, we will be suggesting one. Okay. Sachi is asking, what about the recordings? Are those available lifelong, or can we ask questions? Well, yes, the recordings are available lifelong. I mean, you can even download them. That's not a problem at all, Sachi. And when you are in a project, see, I think if the questions are reasonable, if the questions are at the doubt level, unless and until you start asking, taking consultancy help from the team here, which will be probably, which will be a huge thing. But otherwise, I think there's no problem. It will be good if you can remain connected with this forum forever in future as well, and keep asking questions. And this is for everyone, that you can be connected to us forever. Even after your course ends, there's no restriction. You can come back, and your forum access does not expire. Your LMS access does not expire. Is that fine? So any other questions, guys? Quickly I can answer, and so otherwise I'll go ahead and start with the session today. Okay, great. So I think let me get started. Okay. So today, this is what we're going to do. We're going to understand why is pig needed. Okay, why it was created. Okay, I'm sure some of you already understand that. Why go for pig when MapReduce is there? What is the problem which pig is actually solving, and how does pig actually work internally? Okay, and very important thing which you will have in your life is where to use pig and where not to use pig. Okay, so that's a very important question which everyone has in their mind. We'll try to answer that question as well. Okay, and then we will next what we'll do is we are going to use the weather data set which we used last time, and we'll use it with pig. Okay, then we'll look at pig components, pig data types. Then there's something called a user defined function in pig, and we'll also try to compare pig and hive, which is something which you're going to do in the next class more when we know hive, but we just to make sure that there is something which is common in pig and hive, I put this topic here. Okay, so let's get started and let's see. So yeah, so this is one slide which these guys have prepared. Okay, so it says, do you know Java? Okay, so if you do not know Java, how many people are now comfortable with Java? How many people were able to write those MapReduce programs? Yeah, can I quickly get that? Answer that everyone was able to do those MapReduce programs which we gave last time? Okay, good. Ranjit says good with Java now. Very nice. Amit was not able. Amit, why did you not do it? Yeah, I'm talking about the assignments. Okay. Rajat says I'm not able to do. MapReduce programming. I'm able to do. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, Sachi says, okay, great. So very nice. Now, even if you know Java, even if you do not know Java, there is still a reason why we should use Pig. Okay, so basically if you do not know Java, then obviously Pig is one solution. You can use Pig. Pig is a very high level. It has a higher level of abstraction than Java. You don't have to really write map and reduce programs. Don't have to think about the internals. Okay, you don't have to break your problem into what will run on the map, what will run on the reduce, which actually is not a very simple task. Okay, figuring out what will be the in real life production environments, you may have to write multiple stages of maps and reduces. Okay, so that may not be a very simple thing to figure out. So for people who do not know Java, that's one solution. But then even if you know Java, then also there is a big advantage in using Pig or something like Pig. Okay, yes, it is more like ETL. Exactly. Yes, Vijay, that's right. So now when we have something like that, then so you can use Pig there. Okay, now one more thing which is highlighted here is 10 line of Pig is equal to 200 lines of Java. I mean, it doesn't mean that it is 10 or 20 times, but then just to stress upon the point that it's not really very I mean, a lot of people had this problem with Java, but we could have actually skipped Java. Okay, for all practical purpose we could have skipped Java. The reason I wanted to have Java in this course and reason why I stressed upon that is because unless and until you do that part, you will never understand the fundamentals of map and reduce. Okay, internally Pig also uses map and reduce. Okay, so whatever you write here will be converted into MR job and it will be run. Okay, so now and then there are built-in operations like join, group, filter, very SQL like kind of operations will be here. So that is where Pig scores over your MapReduce programming in Java. Okay, so most of the people know about what is a join, what is a group, filter, sort in say SQL. Is there anyone who is completely unaware of SQL? Okay, everyone is aware. Very nice. Can I quickly get an answer there? So now okay, great. So now what that means is that great. Sachi says 100%. Rajat is asking me a question. Okay, sure. So I know these questions are going to come, and that is why I wanted to have a discussion on that. Now, Vamsi, let's start using the forum. Put this question in the discussion forum itself. Vamsi is asking me, but in real life scenario, what is the architecture recommendation to use MR or not? Now, or only go for Pig? Now, this is not a very easy question to answer. Okay, whether you should use Pig or use MR, but we'll try to answer this question in this class as well. But as well as I want you to post this as this is a very good thing which can go on discussion forum where multiple people can come and put their views there with some examples. One more thing I wanted to point to and really wanted to appreciate Deepankar on that was that he actually put up this Splunk versus the architecture of Slump on Hadoop, right? That's one of the posts on the forum. I think everyone should go and see that and contribute there. So Vamsi, I would recommend that you put this in a yes, definitely. So I will answer that question now. And in the forums also there will be multiple views, but there the instructors will also be there. So we will also be answering those questions. Is that fine, Vamsi? Yes, we will surely do that. We'll surely do that. So we'll surely do that. Okay, great. So now everyone is aware of what a join is, what a group is, what a filter is in a right. Great. So Ravi has given me a good answer there. If you want full control on a system, as a rule of thumb, low level code will be useful. For example, Java MapReduce. Exactly. But it depends upon your use case, right? So let's get started. Let's see. Ravi, you can post this answer also on the discussion forum itself. And we'll keep on getting answers and we'll keep on adding use cases. If you have such a scenario, then use this. If you have a different scenario, then use that. Okay. Okay, so why was Pig created? Okay, now very important thing. See, one very challenging thing with MapReduce programming is that it takes a long time to develop. Okay, so you obviously have to, the programs which we saw were pretty simple, but in the real life scenario there will be slightly complex things than that, and the development cycle will be slightly longer. In Pig you can go a quick prototyping on large data set. So if you have a large data set, you write a small Pig script and you can run it and see, okay, how is it working. Then you may actually end up using a MR also, right? Okay, so sure, Praveen. So then you can also use MR basically. Now you can do a quick prototyping on the large data set using the using Pig, and then finally when you're done, when you're sure that this is what I want to do, then you can as well create a MapReduce program for that and use that, because sometimes MapReduce programs will be faster. Okay, let's see how they work. Now it's a, as we saw, it's a ad hoc way of creating and executing MapReduce jobs on very large data sets. Rapid development is one big advantage. Okay, then no Java is required. You have a very simple language here. We will be learning that language today. I'll also be pointing you to the language reference manual because I mean not everything in the language will be covered in the class today. We'll be touching upon some of the important things, and then the remaining things you can read through and you can practice. Okay, and it was developed by Yahoo. Okay, and let's see. So why should I go for Pig when there is MR? Again, the same question. Now, basically, this is one thing that important things here. 1/20th of the lines of code. This is typically what the solution will be in when we say Hadoop, it means MR. You'll have this much, and versus Pig will be this. So this is development time. Again, I mean these are stats which have been derived after I don't know the exact source for it, but then they have been derived from based on experiences, that this is the line of code you need to write after seeing that many MapReduce jobs. We would have figured that, and similarly development time will be very less, and performance on par with raw Hadoop or raw MapReduce. Now not exactly on par, but well, I do not know, Sachi, why is it called Pig? We can get, you again post this in the forum. I'm sure someone will answer that. Okay, I can also take care there. Okay, now performance on par with raw Hadoop means that as per on most of the situations, Pig will perform as good as Hadoop. Okay, or MapReduce. There will be cases where it will be slower. Okay, but as and when it evolves, it keeps on evolving. Some of those things will also be solved. But then there are a lot of other things which are very difficult to do in MapReduce, which can be easily done in Pig. So we use Pig there. Okay, so this point is clear. Lesser lines of code, faster development time, and performance as good as Hadoop. Okay, so makes a very good case for using Hadoop then. Okay, again the same question. I mean if you look at this foil, very important to understand this, because this is the question when most of you will have when you go in your real life scenario, that okay, whether I should use Pig or Hive or I should use MapReduce. So obviously MapReduce has a very powerful model for parallelism. It provides a good opportunity to parallelize an algorithm. We've seen that last time as well when we saw that use Unix. Okay, based on a and it's based on Vijay, I'll take that thing just in just a second. You can post that on the forum itself. Okay. Okay, based Rajat, your question also I'll answer in a while. Okay, now based on it is based on a rigid structural procedural structure, right? We've seen the MapReduce programs that take some time to write them. And I mean, MapReduce also has a higher level declarative language. As we saw, we did in Java, it can be done in Python, Ruby as well. So it uses the higher level language. Okay. Now in Pig, basically, the biggest advantage is this. It is very similar to SQL query where the user specifies what and leaves the how to the underlying process engine. In MapReduce, we have to do a lot of work on the how part also, right? So basically, in this case, in this environment, in a Pig environment, you'll not take so much time, and you don't have to worry too much about the how part. You can just specify that this is what I want, and Pig can get that data back to you. Okay, so basically, what are the typical use cases? Processing of huge weblogs. Okay, that is where you'll use Pig. Data processing for search platform, Yahoo uses it extensively. Okay, obviously support for ad hoc queries across large data sets. So if you have a very large data set and you want to do some like that weather data set itself, if you have to figure out what is the max and the min, Prig can be used. Very important thing, quick prototype for algorithms for processing large data set. Now this is a very important point, and this is where largely Pig will be used. Okay, ultimately you may convert a Pig into a MapReduce and manually and optimize it, but usually where you'll use Pig is that I thought that this is an algorithm which will be best for processing this particular data set, and I want to prototype that. Okay, so that is where I'll use Pig most of the times. Okay, so any questions on this, guys, till now? I can quickly take those questions and answer them. Okay, Dipankar is saying, why do you want to finally convert into MapReduce? Dipankar, it is because of performance. I mean, you may, okay. No, Vamsi, internally Pig will also use MapReduce. So it will internally convert into MapReduce jobs, which may not be very optimized as, I mean, you can write the most optimized code, human beings can write most optimized code, but Pig will also convert into MapReduce. So similar to Splunk thing which was there, right? I mean, it will be a similar thing that on top of it, very simple queries you can write to get those difficult answers. Then finally, you may think that when that small lower level optimizations play a big role in your results, then you can think of writing a complete MapReduce, implementing it into complete MapReduce, optimize it there. It does that. Yes. So Dipankar is saying Splunk also does so, right? So anything which is working on Hadoop will be internally running a MapReduce job only. Okay, so that should be very clear to everyone. Any more questions here, guys? So before I move on. Okay, Dilip, that question will be answered next. Where Pig will not work. Okay, that's what I was just telling you. So we'll answer that. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, so let's see how Yahoo uses Pig. Okay. Okay. Vinayak, we will be seeing that. Okay. We can show you that. We can show you that. Now, Arka is asking what is quick prototyping. Now, Arka, see, quick prototyping means that if you are about to develop an algorithm, okay, and if you want to see how does it really perform, whether really it will work or not. Now, you've designed a algorithm. Now, the next thing will be to test it on a large data set. If you have to use MapReduce, it will take a long development time. It will take, and then you will figure out, no, this is not the best algorithm. So in such a case, you can use Pig to initially quickly prototype, okay, this at the algorithm level. Just a second. Okay, yeah. So sorry, I got muted myself. So yeah, so basically pipelines, I mean, there are two typical cases where Yahoo uses this. Okay, so as you know, right, I mean, on the web servers, there will be huge logs, server logs will be there. Okay, these logs will, first thing which you do, I mean, on anything will be to clean up these logs, right? Lot of, if I look at the server log of Facebook, for example, there will be a lot of bots which will be automated programs which will do clicking there. Okay, there will be a lot of internal views of the company. You have to remove that. You have to remove the clicks which are internal, because otherwise if you do, I mean, if you test on if you do any conclusion based on those, most of the information or the inferences you would have drawn will be inaccurate. Okay, so you have to do that. Okay, it will be terabytes. Okay, Rajat. So now, right. So basically, these will be so in this case, basically you can use this is where Yahoo uses Pig. Okay. Now clicks means the click streams, right? I mean, so many people click on a link, right? I mean, if you're showing a link there, a lot of people will be clicking on that link, and you'll have to figure out who clicked that. What did this person do after clicking it? Did he actually end up buying the product or not, or was he engaged with the customer or not? So all these inferences you have to derive from these logs. Okay, and but before that you have to do a cleaning step. So you'll be probably filter it out. Okay, filter out. Okay, these are my internal views. This is how I remove those. Then these are the bots which have to remove. Those internal clicks have to remove. So all those things can be done using MapReduce also, but Pig can be a faster way of doing it. So Yahoo uses Pig for doing that. Okay. Then again, I just the thing with the example which I gave of quick prototyping, that is where the researchers will be using it. They want to quickly write a script to test a theory. Big integration with streaming makes it easy for researchers. Okay, now again, one more thing is that there's something called streaming integration on Pig, where you can run a Perl or a Python script, okay, using Pig on a huge data set, which will be finally converted into a MapReduce job, and then you can quickly check how things work. So usually people will be comfortable in writing a Perl or a Python script. Now they want to run it in a distributed fashion, they'll probably use Pig for that. Okay, so is that clear how Yahoo uses Pig? And I mean, can you also understand that these things would have become very difficult if you had to do yeah, Vijay, just a second. These things would have become very difficult if we had to do this using basically if you had to write a MapReduce program directly for all those things, right? And it is very much possible that the researchers may not be very comfortable in writing a MapReduce program also, right? Because that is not their core competency. So they may be writing things in Perl or Python. Streaming means, Vijay, that you can use Pig, you can use any of these languages, and it can be used by, there's an integration of Pig which can be used. So you integrate Pig through this, and then finally a MapReduce job will be run on your cluster. Okay. So any questions on this slide, guys? I'll move ahead otherwise. Yes. Yes, Ashish, that's right. Any more questions, guys? I'll probably move ahead otherwise in next 15 seconds. If someone is writing a question, it's fine. Okay. So let's go ahead. Okay. So let's see one typical example, okay, where Yahoo also wants to use it. Okay, so let's see a typical example of how Yahoo uses, where Yahoo actually uses it. So if you see here, right, there are two tables here. I mean, you can call them table, or just this can be unstructured data as well, where we have a user, we have a URL and the time at which he looked at the URL. Okay, or it could be the time he spent with the URL. Okay, and then there is a table which says the page rank of the URL. Okay, so we want to find users who tend to visit good pages. Okay, so is Amy a user who visits good pages? Good pages are pages which have a higher page rank. Okay, and based on that you want to find that out. Now, which means that you have to actually use both these tables, okay, or both these data sets. These will be used data sets in their own. Okay, so which means that you have to use both these data sets together to actually get an answer to that. Now think of a situation, how many people can write a MapReduce job for that? Can you think about it a little bit and tell me how will you write a MapReduce job for this? I want you to spend some time on this, okay, maybe a 5-minute exercise. This could be a 5-minute exercise where you can think of at algorithm level, how will you write this in a MapReduce job? Okay, now we do not have one data set, we have two data sets, and you have to write a MapReduce program which will say find users who tend to visit good pages, which could be right, which could be, think about it a little bit more. Okay, I want you to think about it a little bit more. Okay, basically good page could be any page which has a page rank of more than 0.5. Okay, so take 2 minutes, think about it. Okay, any people who have been able to write MapReduce programs on their own, for them also it is important to understand this, because in real life situations there may not be a single data set, there may be multiple data sets. Okay, so I have some answers here. Let me see what are people saying. So Vijay is saying chained maps, right? Multiple mappers and reducers, a lookup of good pages which has to be mapped against the user sites. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, Sachi is saying I will create a lookup function to get the key value. Okay, so this could be one, guys, this could be one more exercise which you may want to do. Okay, that use a MapReduce program to do this. Okay, so we can provide you one such data set. Okay, and you can use a MapReduce program to get this done. This will not be a very simple MapReduce program. It will be a slightly difficult MapReduce program. Vamsi is saying user and URL into one key value pair, URL rank to another key value pair, run the first key value pair against the second key value pair. Okay. Well, yes, some of these approaches will work, Rajat. Yes, your approach is right. But I want you to actually spend some time this week to write a MapReduce program on such data set. I'll ask the support team to share this data set and you can write a MapReduce program. But one thing which is very clear is that it is not a very simple thing, right? Does everyone agree that it is not very straightforward? Yes, a little bit process. Praveen, can you also answer that? Can you think about a way in which you can create a MapReduce program for this? Okay, that's fine. So what I want everyone to do is try out a MapReduce program, and you can have discussions on the exactly very good thing, Praveen. So okay, so let me read out a couple of things which no, that's right. So that's fine. So we will be looking at how to do this. Okay. Okay. So yes, there are such supports. So now Praveen is saying that maybe we need to use some sort of join support from MR. Now see, joins in implementing in MR is a very difficult task. Okay, I mean it's not very difficult, but it's not very straightforward. Okay, now I want everyone to actually try it out, though this is not in the scope of the course, but I mean there is an advanced map MR course which the team is coming up with, where we'll be getting into a lot of more details on the MapReduce side. In this course we are not going into that details, but then for your benefit you can try out it on such a data set and you'll be able to find out. So yes, so basically okay, Tushar has also given me an answer, key value pair for URL to users, then compare them with good pages. Okay, so yes, so there are multiple ways you can think of. This week exercise could be doing a MapReduce program on this. Let's see, but everyone agrees that it is not very straightforward because no one was able to answer that exactly. Though you were able to answer questions on MapReduce very simple, right? Simply. So let's see what can be done. Something like this is required. Okay, on a conceptual level, this is what you need. You do a load on visits, user, URL time, then you load pages, URL rank, then you join them on a URL, group by user, okay, for each user group it, then compute average page rank, okay, because you would have the page rank of all the pages in that group itself, and then you filter using an average page rank of greater than 0.5. Is this clear to everyone, this conceptual flow diagram? Anyone who is not clear, this is very important to understand it here. Can I get a yes from everyone if everyone has understood it? Okay, Rajat, I'll explain that once again. Okay, great. So let me explain that once again. So what you do is you load all the visits. Visits was the first table where you had user, URL and time, and then you load all the pages which will have URL and page rank. Do a join of these two things, okay, on the basis of URL, and then next thing will be group by user. If you understand a group by thing in SQL, which means that whatever is there for that user, you find it as a list here, right? Sure, I'll be showing you that. So Rajat is asking me, can you throw some sample data as the output of group by user? I'll be showing you one of the, yes, Tushar, it is like that, right? and then you do a compute average page rank. Okay, basically based on each group of the user, you compute the average page rank on all the pages he has visited, and then you filter it with based on point. I mean, if it is greater than 0.5, you do a filter operation. Okay, so all these operations, filter, group, join, right, load, all these operations are the operations which you need to do. And what Pig has done is it has the flexibility or the ability to do all these operations as you look at them. Okay, so you say this is what I want to do. It has a command for doing a load. It has a command for doing a join. It has a command for doing a group. It has a command for doing a filter as well. Okay, so rather we'll be seeing that in a little while on when we see on a data. Okay, but at the concept level, is this clear to everyone now? Okay, so Vipul is asking why to do compute average page rank? Well, Vipul, that is the problem we wanted to solve. That I want to find out a user who I want to find out all the users who visit good pages. Now, average page rank is that if a user is user's typical pages which he visits, that average page rank is more than 0.5, then I'll say that he is visiting good pages. Is that fine now, Vipul? Is that clear? So that was my earlier problem statement itself, right? Find users who tend to visit good pages. So a user who visits on an average pages which have a page rank of more than 0.5, that will be a good user, right? Average page rank is not per user. Average page rank is a page rank of the page itself. Say for example, crap.com has 0.2. My blog has this. Flickr has 0.9. So page rank is a rank which the search engine gives to a page based on how good it is considered. Okay. Okay. So is this clear now? No, Vipul. So Vipul is asking to get good page rank. To find out how much, what is the average for a user. Say for example, let me give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example. I think an example will really help here. Just a second. Let me stop all this. Okay, so basically if you visited CNN.com, which has a 0.9 of page rank, then you visited say Yahoo, okay, .com, which has 0.9, and then you visited some xxxx.com, okay, which has a page rank of 0.1. Okay, then your average page rank is, I mean, if I have to find out if you're a good user or a bad user of internet, or you use some .com and that has a page rank of 0.05. Okay, if I have to find out if you're a good user or not, what will I do? You understand it now? I'll just do an average of your page visits. So 0.9, 0.9, 0.1, 0.05 divided by 4. And then I'll find out whether Rajat is a good good user of the internet or not. Okay. So if I have to find out that, then I will be using this. Okay. Right. So something like this is where the average page rank is of this page, but average page, right? That is, yes. Yes, exactly. So it is user average of the page rank. So basically, if you are a good user of the internet, you will probably you'll have more than 0.5, and if you are no, then it will be less than 0.5. Fine. Is that clear now? Great. So let's go ahead and see. So if this is clear, then right, Rajat, that's right. That's exactly right. But that's not true for everyone, because depending upon which pages you are visiting, this will change for everyone, right? Is that clear, Rajat, now? Great. Okay, thanks. So such are real life problems which you'll have to solve, and to use them, instead of writing a MapReduce program, you can very well write a Pig script or anything which is at a higher level. Hive can also be used to do some such things. Okay. Okay. Now, Where should I use Pig? We have already seen this, time-sensitive data loads, processing many data sources together, as we just saw, analytical insight through sampling. So you want to get an analytical insight on a big data set using a small sample. Okay, so that's where you'll use Pig. Okay, so these are the three places. It is right. So basically, again, I mean, say same thing repeated again, the same point being reiterated, that when you have to process large volumes of data quickly and efficiently, you don't want to spend a lot of time in developing a MapReduce program. You just saw that other good PageRank example. If you will yourself figure out whether to use Pig or not by writing a MapReduce program for that, and also writing a Pig script for that. Okay, so if you do both these exercises, these differences will become very clear to you. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's see where not to use Pig. Okay, now that's one question which is very important. When you have really bad data formats and or completely unstructured data where raw human unreadable text is there, where you have to do some level of text analytics, or you have a video or an audio kind of thing data. Okay, Pig will be obviously slow because it works at a higher level, so it will be slow compared to MapReduce jobs. So as I told you earlier, for prototyping, Pig will be good. Okay, but if you really want to run huge production jobs where every 5% of performance makes a hell lot of difference to your life, then it is highly recommended that you convert your Pig scripts into MapReduce jobs. Okay, where you do not really, now that you've figured out that okay, this is the best program, okay, that this is the best program for me, Divya, just give me 2 minutes. Okay, I'll answer that. Okay, now where you once you figure out okay, this is the best program for myself, okay, then I will go ahead and use convert that into MapReduce job, because then the development time doesn't matter too much to me. I'll put up a development team which will develop the MapReduce program for me, and then finally I'll start using them, and then you can keep on optimizing your code, right? And as Ravi had initially said when Vamsi asked that question, when you would like more power to optimize your code, okay, when you know that okay, now it's all about optimizations, it's all about now there's not much which I can do to optimize at the algorithm level, I'll just use the MapReduce programs to do that. Okay. Well, yes, Vamsi, that's right. So Vamsi is asking, so app server logs, web server logs are not suitable for Pig. Well, it depends, Vamsi. It depends, really depends on where, how many, what are you doing with them? Okay. Now, if you think that your performance need is okay with Pig, Pig is not very slow compared to MR, but it will slightly slower. But if it becomes really, for example, Facebook probably will not be using Pig. Okay, it will definitely be doing MapReduce jobs for if it has to do a real time, whatever has to be done at a faster pace, Pig probably there's a trade-off which you have to take. Okay, so the point I wanted to bring out here is that if the data formats are really difficult to figure out, then you probably not a very good idea to use Pig. Then Pig should not be used where, okay, Ravi has given me. Yeah, so Ravi is saying, yeah, very good point, Ravi. Ravi says that formatting logs via log4j and SQ4j was never thought before. Maybe after this open source Hadoop, people will take it more seriously, right? Okay, so can Pig be used to search the data inside any web server log? Yes, definitely it can be used. But whether you want to do it or not will be your choice. Okay, if you think that you need very fast performance, then you probably may not use Pig and use an MR. But yes, it can be used. There's no restriction as such that whether it can be done or not. It can definitely be done. Web server logs are a very good candidate for Pig scripts. Okay. So is this question clear to everyone where not to use Pig? Are we clear on that? Okay, great. Great. Thank you very much, guys. Okay. So again, I mean, we've seen this, and now I'll just for the formal definition, Pig is an open source high level data flow system. It provides a simple language for queries and data manipulation. Pig Latin is the language which we used in Pig. Okay, yeah, Ravi, I think this question is very well suited for a forum place. You can put it in the forum, I'll answer it there. Okay. Now, Pig Latin is internally combined into MapReduce jobs that run on Hadoop. So at a higher level, you will be writing a Pig Latin, it will be compiled into a MapReduce job, and it will be run on Hadoop. Okay. So basically, whenever you are doing some form of ad hoc processing and analysis, Pig is a very good thing to use on, say, clickstream, search logs, and web crawls. Okay. One more thing, important thing to understand, that you don't have to install anything on your Hadoop cluster to run Pig. Pig will work like a client. Okay, it will reside on a user machine. Okay, and your jobs will be run on cluster. So you will probably just the MR jobs will be transferred there and they'll run. Okay, you don't have to install anything extra on your Hadoop cluster. So this is a very important point to understand, and it should be clear to everyone that Pig will work like a client on your user machine. Okay. Let's move ahead if this is clear. Okay, so basically Pig Latin is the language which is used. Pig is made of two core components, Pig Latin. Okay, Pig Latin is the language which is used for writing these data flows. Okay, you have for expressing the data flows. Then the second important thing is the execution environments. Now where all Pig can be done. Okay, now there are two ways in which you can execute a Pig script. One is a local execution when you use a command called pig -x local. There's a -x command. We'll show you that. Then there is a distributed execution on a Hadoop cluster. Now this distributed execution is the MapReduce execution. The local is just to do something on your local JVM. Okay. Most of the times you will be using in a production environment, you will be using the distributed execution where Pig will be converted into MR and it will be run there. Now this could be a pseudo distributed thing as well or a fully distributed thing as well. So when we use in our, as you know, right, we use the pseudo distributed environment in our case. So there also we will be using Pig. Okay, and in this case where we use a fully distributed also, you can use a Pig. It will work exactly the same way there as well. Okay. Okay, let's see, at this point of time, I'll take you to the shell, okay, and I'll show you how does the Pig shell actually look like, okay. Okay, so when you basically write Pig here, okay, so it will grunt is the execution shell of Pig. Okay, so it's an interactive execution shell of Pig. When you write a program called, say for example, okay, Pig -x local. Okay, this says that, okay, this is the way in which you can say that -x is the -x is the execution mode. You can set it to local, okay, or you can reset it to, okay, if you use direct Pig, it will be the execution mode by default will be the MR mode. Okay, so this is how it looks like a shell only, okay, here, and we will see various options here, but just wanted to show you that you just have to write Pig on your Cloudera VM and you'll all be done. Now there is a configuration and the installation part to it, which is done by default in the Cloudera VM, but we will be sharing a document with you. Yeah, I can show you some things here. Let me show where it is kept. So you can use this installation guide. Everyone can use this installation guide, which is there in the week 4 Pig module. Okay, so this is very important. You have to set the Java home. Okay, now this is very important. Before you run anything, this is the only thing which you need to do, and you can use that. Okay, so is this till this point everything is clear to everyone? Where will you find the Pig setup for Cloudera? Am I audible to everyone? And people who are not using Cloudera, the people who are using the remote access, this is already done for you, so you don't have to do anything about it. Okay, for now. Okay. So let's go back and let's see. Let's go back to our presentation. So this is how pig looks like. Okay, it's again like a shell only. Okay. Now there are other ways of doing pig scripts as well. Where we'll show you that in a short while. For now, this is what I wanted to show you, that there's a small installation which you have to do. It's very small for the Cloudera setup, and that is it. Okay, you don't have to worry too much about it. On the people who are using the remote server, the team tells me that they've already done it, so you don't have to do anything. You can start writing. Guys, yeah, so yes, Vamsi, see, you have to well, in this case, Vamsi is asking, when you said pig can run on user machine, I thought I don't need to log in into VMware. Well, what that means is that pig, if you don't have to be on your cluster. It is not running on your cluster. So if you have think of a real production environment, when there will be thousands of machines on your cluster, nothing runs on the cluster. Pig runs on your client machine. Okay, is that correct? Is that fine, Vamsi? So in this environment, everything is on this VM, so you'll have to do it. Okay, fine. Okay, so let's get back and let's see. So there are these two execution environments. We just saw them. Okay, we've seen this as well, that pig Latin program is made of series of operations of transformations that are applied to input data to produce an output. So this is how you define a pig Latin program. Pig Latin is the name of the script. Okay, now pig will internally transform this into a series of MapReduce jobs. Okay, so this is also clear. Let's go ahead and see which are the different operators of pig. Now the complete reference can be found here. I'll just broadcast this to everyone. Okay, just a minute. That you can find the reference guide or the language reference manual for pig here. Just give me 1 second, guys. We'll also put it in the, I think in one of the discussions, you can put it here where to find the thing. Okay, so this can be done, but this is the complete language reference manual. I'll not be looking at each and every command of the language because that is not really important, and that's not, I don't think that is the best way to actually take this class forward. I'll discuss some of the important things there, and the remaining things we'll see from this language reference manual, and we'll also keep on seeing as we write more programs on pig. Okay. Is that fine, guys? Is that okay with everyone? I'll not be covering each and every command or anything, everything in pig. Okay. So there are these categories of pig Latin operators. Okay. One is this loading and storing category, where you do a load. What it does is it loads data from a file system into a relation. Okay. So that's what the load operation does. Then there's something called store, which will do, it will store the relationship into a file system or any other storage which you. Dump is used to print a relation on the console. When we say a relation, everyone understands that? So is this part clear to everyone? I just want to check that if people are following me here. Is this part clear to everyone, the loading and storing category of operations? Can I get a yes from everyone? I've not got a yes from everyone. Okay, Vijay, I'll just explain that. Are there more people who have stopped following this? Okay. Okay. So Dipankar, the difference between load and store is load is to read the data, store is to write the data. Okay, as simple as that. Let me pick more questions and then just answer them together. Okay, so relation is a terminology we're using to whatever command you load in, that will be called a relation. Okay. Okay, so this is clear to, yes, in a way. Not exactly joins, but I mean, see, whatever you're doing in pig will be like a relation. So basically whatever you are doing, you load some data, that's called a relation. That on that relation you'll be doing some operation. Okay. So Divya, what is not clear to you? Can you please quickly tell me what is not clear? So load is used to load the data from the file system into a relation, which means on that you can call it as I mean your memory where you will be doing the next set of operations. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Divya. Okay. Load is to load the data, store is to write the data. That's right, Rajat. That's right. Okay, fine. And dump is to print it on a console. Okay. So we'll see examples of these. Okay. Let's see. Then there is the filtering operations. Print is printf. Dump is not read. Dump is writing. Print it on a console. Okay. Store is to store it in a file system. Dump is to dump it on a console. So you want to see on a console that what happened to that relation. Okay. That's where you use dump. Clear, Rajat? Okay. Then there are these filtering operations which are filter, remove unwanted rows from a relation, distinct means remove all the duplicate rows from a relation. So see, think of these things. Now doing this in a MapReduce job would not be very easy, right? Remove all the unwanted rows, you have to write a program for that. Here there is a command to do that. Okay. Similarly, sure, Vamsi, I'll put that there from the next time onwards. Thank you for the feedback. Okay. Distinct, remove all the duplicate rows. Okay. So if you have to do that, it's very easy to do it in pig. Just have to use the distinct operator here. Okay. For each is very simple to any other for each. For each of these, do something. Okay. Add or remove fields from a relation. Okay. So for each, basically in this, do this or do that. That's how you do it. Now stream is that thing which we were talking about earlier, transform a relation using an external program. Okay, you can use a Perl or a Python here with this stream command. Okay. Then there are operators for grouping and joining. Okay, join is join two or more relations. So you load two things which we saw just now. You remember that example which we saw for the good thing. We use that good website page ranks. There we will use the join, where you have loaded two or more relations, right? Now, okay. Now, CRO-group is also very same. There's no difference between co-group and join. Okay. Groups, the group will see, some of these things will become more clear when we use them with example data. Okay, we'll be doing that in a short while. So don't need to worry about each and everything to whether you are able to understand it very clearly or not. When we do some examples, we'll be very clear on that. Okay, very difficult to explain some of the things in the theory side of things. If you take 5 examples, you'll be able to understand that. Okay. Now cross is basically the cross product of two or more relationships. Okay, so it is exactly the same thing as any cross which you'll have in SQL. Okay. Sorting things are order, sort it basically based on any sort a relation based on one or more fields. Limit is limit the size of a relation up to maximum number of tuples. What is a tuple is something which we'll just understand, so don't worry about that. Okay. Then combining and splitting, we'll be using union and split. Okay. So union is combine two or more relations into one. Split is split a relation into two or more relationships. How and why, we will be using examples to see that. Okay. Fine. So at a higher level, you understood what are the categories of operations which are possible in pig: loading and storing, filtering, grouping and joining, sorting, combining and splitting, right? Is that clear to everyone? More or less these operators are also clear to you. Some of them may not be very, very clear, that you may ask what is the difference between co-group and group. That will become more clear when we use data. Is that fine, guys? Is there any fundamental question here which you want me to answer? Great. Let me just get a quick yes from everyone. Okay, thank you. Okay, so basically, uh, we will be looking at that, Dilip, with an example. Okay, don't worry about it right now. We'll look at it as an example. Okay. And some of the questions you may have, you can post them on the forum also. So that will help us in pacing the class well. Okay. Anything which you think is not exactly related to the class, you can post it as a forum query. We will answer that there. Some of the forum things we can pick up in the next class and answer them when we start the class. Okay. Is that fine, guys? So I have a few questions which I don't think are relevant at this point of time, so I'm not picking them up. You can post them into the discussion forum. Okay. 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 So then there are some diagnostic operators in Pig Latin. I think I'll just take I'll just take a 5-minute break here, and then we will get to the Pig Latin, and we'll get into the details of Pig Latin there. Okay. I'll just take a 5-minute break. You can also think of whatever we have done till now, and any more questions you may have, whatever you've thought of till now, you can take this break to actually post it in the discussion forum and see if others are answering those questions or not. Is that fine, guys? Can we take a 5-minute break? Then we'll continue in a single shot and complete the full class. Okay? Is that fine, everyone, guys? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Meanwhile, you can just put all your queries which you had, which we did not answer here, in the discussion forum, and let others also answer them, and get used to that system. I'll be back in 5 minutes exactly at 10:30 a.m. India time, and then we can look at it more. Okay, thank you. Am I audible, Dipankar? Everyone, am I audible? Okay, some people saying I'm not audible, some people are saying I'm audible. Okay, looks like I'm audible to everyone. Okay, great. Okay, so let's do this, guys. I mean, now just give me one second. Okay. So how many of you posted anything on the discussion forum? Has anyone posted, or are you posting something? Were you able to post it? Vamsi, Ravi, Dipankar, you had a few things which I asked you to post there. Okay, Dipankar says he has posted something now. Okay. Okay, so you guys can post these questions there, and we'll answer them there itself. Okay, great. Let's see if there is anything which is posted. Okay, great, Dipankar. So Dipankar is the most active person in the discussion forum right now. Oh, sure. So, okay. So let's do this, guys. Let's get started with now. Let's get started with the pig. We'll see some of the things practically on the VM. How do we run those commands? Okay. So as I this is where I was. Pig Latin has some diagnostic operators. So diagnostic operators. Uh, Okay, so diagnostic operators will be three diagnostic operators. One is describe. Describe prints a relation schema, so it tells you what does the relation look like. Okay, explain will print the logical and the physical plans of that schema. Okay, illustrate, what it does is that it runs a sample execution of a logical plan. So if you have a huge data set and if you do a if you load it into pig and then you say illustrate, it will show you a sample execution of that plan. Okay, and it will the beauty of illustrate is that it is able to figure out, I mean, it will not just randomly pick a subset of the data set. It will try to figure out what could be a most probable data subset of data set in which all the coverage can be done in terms of what all operations we are doing. Okay, and it still remains concise. Okay, so is everything covered, and does everything still remain concise? So it will run it on a generated subset of the data. We'll just see that in running just now. Okay, then we have there's some UDF statements. We'll come to UDF in a while, but just to introduce UDF, UDF is a user-defined functions, okay, which can be done in which can be written in, say, Java itself, and then they can be run along with pig scripts. Okay, and wherever you need a UDF, basically wherever you think that okay, there's one operation which is not by default available, you can create a user-defined function, and then after that you can start using it as one of the operators in pig itself. It will become like an operator in your pig environment. Okay, is that clear to everyone? What is the purpose of a UDF? So some of the operations which are not possible, which are not directly defined by pig, okay, can be created as you can define a user defined function, create it in Java, register a jar with that jar file with a pig runtime. Okay, create a Java archive, register it with pig runtime. We'll show you the process of doing that today. Okay, and you can create a then you define a UDF. Basically, first register a jar, then define a UDF. It will create a alias. Then you can, after that, you can start using it as a command itself in your pig environment, in your pig runtime environment. Okay, is that clear now? Can I quickly get a yes from everyone? UDF is something which you'll see in a while. Okay, so we will be showing you how to run how to create a UDF in we'll see a case where UDF can we'll have to define a UDF and we'll run it. Okay, great. Okay. Okay. Amit, I'll explain that with an example. Okay. Okay. So Vinayak is asking me how many such operators are there in pig. Okay. Now see, these are for diagnostics. These are the three. Otherwise, there are a lot of operators in pig. You the language reference which I posted there, right? That can be used. What I'm also proposing is, and usually this is what I do in the pig class, because see, one day is not enough to cover everything. So what I propose is that today we will cover something. We'll give you some assignment. We'll ask you to do some things. We'll meet again tomorrow at the same time. Okay, where we started. That can be a 1 hour session. That will be more fruitful than actually doing it in a single shot of 3 hours. Does that sound good, Vinayak and everyone? But next week we'll have to move to Hive. So what I suggest is that today we will do something. Okay, tomorrow at the same time as if we had it today. Okay, you try out a few things, dirty your hands with a few things, and then tomorrow we meet again to do some more practicals. Okay, and that need not be a good that need not be a complete 3 hour session. That can be 1.5 hour session as well. Some of the questions which you may have now can be answered there as well, right? Because I mean, pig in itself is a full course. Okay, and it is not possible to do the full thing in one class itself. So we will do it this way, that we will probably break this class a little early, not do everything, not cover everything today. We'll ask you to do a few things on your own. You'll have more questions, then I'll explain them tomorrow. Fine. So does everyone has a problem with coming again at tomorrow at say 8:30 or 9, whatever time we decide today? Anyone who I mean, I know a lot of people will not have a problem. Well, Vijay, doing it next week will be mid next week is slightly difficult because a lot of people work and there are uh, people from I mean all across. So it will be slightly difficult. Tomorrow, if it is good, okay, okay. So yeah, we can do at 9 o'clock. 10 will be fine. Is 10 okay with everyone? Can I quickly get a yes on 10? That will not be too early for people here in I don't know if people in US if that is fine. 10 tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Vinod, Vamsi says 9. Vamsi, it will be, yeah, 9. Yeah, so let's do it at 9:30 to 11. We'll send out an email. Okay, we'll set up a session again tomorrow. We'll do a lot of other things tomorrow. Okay. So for now, let me continue. We can discuss upon the timing. I'll fix it up at 9:30. So everyone is fine with that. Okay, great. Thank you very much, guys. Let's move ahead. Okay. So now there are. So this is how you do a UDF. Okay. We will look at describe and illustrate as well. I'll show you illustrate tomorrow with a bigger data set that will help you in understanding it better. Today, if I show you with a small one, you'll not be able to find out the difference as well. Okay. So let's see how does describe work. Let's look at describe first. Okay. And okay, so let's see if I have a let's look at one of the files which I have, a small file, a student file. Okay, so this student file, okay, you're not able to see the screen properly, guys. Gaurav, what is the problem? Okay, okay, so yeah, that's fine. The VMware screen, let's maximize it. It doesn't matter much. Okay, now this is a sample data which we have. We just created a small set to show you how do you load it into Pig. Okay. Now this has name, age, and GPA of these students. So Joe has 18 years old, 2.5 is his GPA. Sam, I don't know his age, so we can leave it blank as well. And 3 is this GPA. 7.9 is the GPA of Angel. John is the brightest of them all. And then again, Joe's GPA is there's another Joe. who has a GPA of has an age 19 and GPA of 2.9. Okay, so let's load this data into Pig. See how that works. So first we'll move this data into HDFS, right? Everyone remembers this command? Now let me remove that first. Probably it is already there. Okay. So everyone remembers this command? How do, if I have to load this data into HDFS, so I load this into HDFS, Hadoop DFS. We are not, okay, wait. We are not in grunt shell till now. No, Vinod, we will go there. We'll go there in a while. Right now we are in the local machine only. Okay. So we put that data into HDFS and then we see that this data has reached the distributed file system. Let's do a cat here and see if the data is still the same. It is still the same. Now let's load it into Pig. Okay, now we are in the grunt shell. Okay. So grunt is the interactive shell of Hadoop. Let's see what command do we need to run to do that. So A is a variable in which we are saving everything. We are loading this data student as, we are defining it as name. I'll go through the structure of a command as well, but let's see how do we do it. It's very simple. Age int, name is a char array, and GPA is a float. Okay. And we load it. Okay, so A is loaded now. Now we'll do a describe A. Let's see what it shows. So it tells me, okay, this is what A looks like. So basically this is what we said. It will show me the relations schema. So this is the schema of A. Okay, fine. Let's do a illustrate here and see if we can make out anything with this example, or we'll need a bigger example. What happened? Okay. Now it is case sensitive, so you have to be a little careful. Okay, so illustrate shows me a sample run of this thing. Okay, now it's not very clear here. Let me create a better example for you tomorrow, and I'll show you how does illustrate work. So on a at a concept level, okay, at a concept level, I'll make you understand what illustrate does. So if you have a large data set, what you want to do is you want to run, you want to see how it works. Basically, you want to do a sample run of that on a smaller subset of that data, while making sure that you are covering all the possibilities and making also making sure that we have a concise, the data set is still concise. Okay, so those are the two things which you look at. Now this was a very small data set. I'll come up with a bigger one tomorrow. Okay, and I'll show you that. Okay, now we have a question. Do we not mention a delimiter while loading input data? Well, tab is a default delimiter, Dipankar. Okay. Rajat, I was just showing how to load data into Pig and then run the describe command. The illustrate command I'll show you with a larger data set tomorrow. Okay, don't have it handy right away, but I'll show it to you with a larger data set tomorrow. Okay, that will help us do things better. Okay. Now this is the interactive shell, the grunt is the interactive shell. I'll also suggest you to do dirty your hands with a little bit of commands today on this, so that we have a better view of things tomorrow morning. Okay. Okay, so let's get back. So this is how you load data. Okay, and this is how you do a describe and illustrate command. Okay. Okay, Vamsi, we'll show you that as well. Running it on this will be slightly difficult. I'll show you something there. Maybe we'll have special sessions for those parts and we can do that there. Okay, so we have 4 basic types of data models in Pig. Okay, which are these basic data type models in Pig? First one is called atom, the second one is called tuple, the third one is called bag, and the fourth one is called map. Okay, now let me show it to you with an example that what does that actually mean. Okay, atom is a simple atomic value. Okay, let me show you with an example. So the example is written here as well. I'll just take it in this as well. Okay, so this basically has atom is a simple atomic value like int, long, double, string. Example could be say Peter. Okay, this is one atom. Tuple is a sequence of fields that can be of any data type. Okay, so tuple is Peter and 14. So basically these two together will form a tuple. Whenever we have two such things, it will call it a tuple. Okay. The third type of data model is a bag. Bag is a collection of tuples of potentially varying structures. Okay, and it can also contain duplicates. So basically, this is a different structure, and this is a different structure in a tuple, right? So this has so this is basically a bag. Okay, the complete thing is a bag. This is a atomic type. Okay, this is a tuple, right? And this is also a tuple here. Okay, so and together it is called a bag. Okay, so these are different basically. So this tuple had a string and a int. Okay, this tuple has a string and then a tuple of ints. Okay, and then this the complete thing is called a bag. Bag has one atom. Okay, this is an atom, and together with this becomes a tuple. Okay, and together this is called a bag. Is that clear to everyone? Are these data models clear to everyone? The first 3? Yes, a tuple can have a tuple inside it. Yes, Dipankar, that's right. Okay. Okay, and the fourth type, just want to make sure that if it is clear to everyone. Great. Well, that's not right. That doesn't happen, Dipankar. Okay, and you'll surely see that in a while why that is not required. Okay. Now let's see. Let's go ahead and see the last data model. Okay. An associative array. Associative array. Everyone and does everyone know what an associative array is usually? It is a key value pair, right? Where the key must be a char array. Okay. Value can be of any type. Okay, yeah. So basically the key should be a char array. Okay, and the value can be either an atom or a tuple or a bag. Okay. So associative array is like a map, a hash table, if you know. Yes, exactly. So Dilip is telling me associative array is just like hash in Perl. Exactly. So hash or associative array are the same things. So where you have a key and then you have a associated data structure there, which can in this case could be an atom or a tuple or a bag. Okay, is that clear now? Gaurav? Okay, great. So these are the different data models. Okay. Okay, so now then there are this shows which are the different implementing Java classes for each of these. So bag is implemented by a special Pig class which is not a normal Java class. It is called pig.databag, and similarly tuple is implemented like this. Map is java.util.map. Okay, so it is not something. Yes, we will. I can show you an example of that as well. Okay, just give me some time. Okay, I'll show you that. Maybe tomorrow I'll show you a lot of examples, Ramesh. Okay, so now this is nothing which is different. Map is, this is just to bring out that these are only these two are different data types which have been implemented in Pig. Okay, using these special classes. Otherwise, everything else is very similar to what we have in Java. Okay. Okay. Now, as we've seen just now, the three ways of executing a Pig program. One is a script. You can create a Pig script. Okay, we will be creating a couple of Pig scripts, and we run in the command line. Okay, using the command Pig. So if you don't do anything with Pig, you just write Pig. Okay, Amit, no problem. Well, not really. Amit is asking, can we leave early today as we are meeting tomorrow? Well, the reason why I wanted to meet tomorrow is not to leave early today. I wanted to extend this session a little bit so that we can cover more examples, Amit. Okay. So I don't suggest that. Maybe a little bit early we can leave, but not really early. Okay. So I'll at least take half an hour more today. Okay. Yes, exactly. That's what we'll do. Okay, so let me come back. I'm really sorry for the interruption here. Now, there are three modes in which you can run Pig. One is a script mode where you write a script and it runs like a command line, okay, in a batch mode. Then there's an interactive shell, which is grunt, which we just saw just now. If you just write Pig, it will take you to the grunt shell. Okay, if you write Pig followed by a script, then it will run the Pig script. Okay. Then there is embedded. Now embedded is just like you run SQL programs from Java using JDBC. Similarly, you can do Pig programs from Java as well. Okay, so that's another way of execution. We will show you that as well. Okay, maybe tomorrow we'll show you that. Okay, embedded, one example of the embedded mode. Most of the times we'll be using either the script or the grunt shell. Okay, so these are the three ways in which you can execute your Pig program. Okay, the script, the grunt, and the embedded mode. Okay, one very important concept which you need to understand is null. A lot of people get confused here. Okay, and this could be one question which some of you who are preparing for interviews could be asked. The null, the concept of null in Pig. Okay, basically, though Pig looks like a language, but the concept of null is very similar to the concept of null in SQL. Does everyone know? Does anyone know, or everyone know what is a null in SQL? When do you get a null in SQL? The difference between a null in SQL and C, for example. Can someone tell me that? You can take a few seconds to think and then write it down. The Pig null is very similar to the SQL null and not the C null. Now, if that makes sense, okay, undefined in SQL, null values represent missing or unknown data. Okay, so now, okay, so we've understood. Let's look at this so everyone understands what is null. Null means that if there is an error, okay, or because of some reason you are not able to retrieve that data, that is what is the concept of null in SQL. Okay, and that is the concept of null in Pig as well. And it is very different from the concept of null in C, okay, or in Java or in Python, right? Null there means uninitialized thing. Okay, here it means that if there is an error, you get a null result. Okay, let's look at it using an example. Let me show you an example, and that will make it very clear. So the concept of null is very important to be understood, and sometimes people will ask you this question when you tell them that you know pig. This could be a common question in an interview as well. So let me create a small example. Let's have something called, say, serial number, and then let's have geography here. Okay, and let's have the marks for each of those. Let's intentionally create a thing which will give us a null. Okay, so small example. Let's try to see what I'm trying to do now. So I have created a file where I have serial number 1, where I have history, and then I have marks 70, then geography marks 80. Marks 80 have been not defined as a int or a double type. Okay, let me put this into my HDFS and show you the difference. Let me load this in a relation called marks, where my ID is int, my subject is a char array, which is like a string. Okay, and my marks as double. Let me load it at that as that. Okay, now let's describe marks first, just to make sure that everything is done properly. Okay, so it says marks. This is the schema of marks. Okay, now let's go ahead and dump. Okay, there's something which I think was not right. Maybe this editing tool is giving me a problem. It should have shown me slightly different result. Let me just try it once again. Okay. Okay, great. So now you see the difference here. Is everyone able to understand the difference, guys? Okay. Okay. So basically we defined this guy. Vinayak, let me just explain that. Okay. Now we defined a file in which we said the first is a int, second is a char array, and the third is a double. Okay. So I defined it here. I probably made the mistake of putting 2 delimiters, so it took the third one as. So what was the problem there? I took 2 delimiters, so this part was taken as the third thing. Okay, that's why it gave a null there. Okay, 2 tabs, right? Exactly. So now in this case, what happens is that if I now this is when I read this back, or when I dump this, I want to see what is the content, right? Now in this case it was able to figure that out, but in this case there was a mismatch in the data type, so it gave me a null. So this is the concept of null in pig. Okay, is that clear now, guys? Everyone, can I get a quick yes of everyone? Right. and it did not give me any error because it's fine. I mean, it took. Okay, Divya, in just a while, the next slide will show you that. How do we specify delimiters in load? Okay, just hold on. Yes, it will not print the value which is null. Because we specified that, okay, see, look at this. I said load that file as where marks is double. Okay, that's what I specified. Now, if it is not double, then it will take the value as null only for the second row. Right, Amit? Is that fine? Amit, is that okay? So it is because of this. If I just say mark says char array again, then the first one will become null. Right, not exactly, because char array can take both the things, but just to give you an example, if I had to, so this is the second thing which I specified, the string or the char array that was not coming here, so that's why it loaded as null. Okay, got it? Great. Now, if it was a data type which was not supported, or it will give an error out if it is not type, then it will take it as a null. Okay, so you are clear with the difference of null between, say, a C and a SQL now with this example? Cool, thank you. Let's move ahead. Not okay. So let us look at this data set. We just saw this data. It's a small data, but just we'll illustrate a few things here. Okay, using this data. So this data has two things basically. It has the name, age, and GPA, and then we have a name and the roll number. Okay. Now there are two Joes here. Okay. Joe who has a age 18 and Joe who has a age 19. Joe who has a age 18 is roll number 45, and the Joe who has age 19 is roll number 19 only. Okay, so we have just a second. Is the audio not clear? Is it better? Am I audible now? Okay, really sorry about that. Okay, okay. So now that's fine. So this is the data we'll look at, and we'll see what do we do with this data. We will try to do a try to understand what a group operator does, and we will try to use this data here. Okay, so first step is when I say load A as student, name, char array, age int, and GPA float. This command everyone is familiar with. Then we do a dump. Okay, then what we do is we group A by name. Okay, I'll show you this command by running there as well. But what will be the output? It will, name is Joe. So in case of Joe, it will create such a structure. For Sam, it will create this. For John, it will create this. For Angel, it will create this. Right? Is this clear to everyone? So these two will be grouped together for Joe. Let's look at it how we run it, and then let's look at it on the VM itself. Okay, let me load this data first. Sorry. I'm sorry, just a second. I'll just load the student data. Let me just see if I have that small example there, that toy example. Yes, Deepankar, I'm really sorry about that. So student is already there. Student role I'll load into HDFS. Let me go to the grunt shell. Okay, so I've loaded that relation into A. Just check what does that contain, just to be sure. It has name, which is a, I think I've majorly goofed up everything. Let me run this once again and do a control C to get out of that. Okay. So name is a char array, and then we have age as int, then we have GPA as float. Thanks, Dipankar. Thank you. Okay. Let's see what is the output here. Okay. So basically this is the output after the group by name operator. Okay. Is this clear to everyone, guys? You understood this, what I did just now? Can I get a yes from everyone if it is clear? Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Great. And well, what I want tomorrow is that everyone should have their big setup done on their systems. We'll use some data sets. I'll ask you also to run some things. Okay, is that fine? Okay, thank you. Yes, Amit, that's right. No, you will, Tushar, we'll send you all this data file. Don't worry. I'll send you this data. That's a small data file you can create on your own from the PPT itself. You can create. I mean, this is just to illustrate that how does a group by work. Okay. So we just did what command did we run? We loaded it into as a relation A, and then we said group A by name, and the name was the field which we had defined earlier here. Okay, and then what we got was this. Okay, this was the output. Yeah, we're coming to co-group now. Just give me 1 second. I'll explain. Rajat, just hold on. I'll explain what co-group is and how does it actually work. Okay, so now in case of a group, right, we had the co-group operator. Ramesh, don't worry, we'll answer that question in a while. We'll tell you the timing, don't worry. Okay, just hold on. Whatever you can see now is very important to understand. Okay, group is for a single data. Okay, if we have two sets of data, then we will use co-group. A similar thing there also, but just like two, if you have two of those. Okay, is that fine? So this at a concept level, group is very similar to co-group, but it works on a if you have two datas, then we'll use that. Okay, let's see again the same data which we loaded, and let's see how does co-group work there. So I've already loaded that relation A. Let me load the second table, which is the student roll number. Roll number as int. Okay, now let me do a co-group. let me do a okay. One more thing is that in a grunt shell everywhere you can use you have to use a semicolon, okay, to end the thing. So this is the command for this is the operator cogroup. I cogroup A by name and B by name, and let's see what happens. And then we'll dump X. Okay, so do you see this here, guys? So for all of these, we are able to get the roll number here. For Joe, since there were two Joes, we got it like this. Is the concept of cogroup clear to everyone? Can I quickly get a yes or no here? Any questions? Okay. Rajat, just give me a while. I'll explain that slightly later. Rajat Rastogi, your answer. Okay, let me take, there are other questions which are there and I'll explain that first. Okay, Amit is saying I did not get the output. It does not do a file join. Okay, it is not doing a file join. So let's be very clear about it. So this is all, no, it doesn't. Yeah. So basically, yes, yes, Gaurav, that's right. When you try it on your own, you'll be able to figure it out better. Now you look at this, right? So what is it doing? Joe was present in both the tables in two places, right? Sam was present in both the tables in two places. So let's take this example. So it was able to give you the Sam's roll number, and then it gave you Sam's GPA in this row, okay, and grouped it by Sam. In case of Joe, it created four such things. One is this guy, okay, which is Joe 18 2.5 and Joe 19 2.9, okay, and then this other Joe is in the other table. What we are doing is 45 and 19. These are the two roll numbers associated with Joe, and together it came in one single thing, okay. Okay, wait. Ramesh is asking, so we are grouping data from two tables. Yes, exactly, Ramesh. So for a single table, if you have a single table, then you will use group. Okay. Yes, Vikas, that's right. How to see how many tables are already present in HDFS so that we can load it in Pig? Can you please show again? Well, HDFS, it was data set only, right? We loaded that there. Okay, so now, yeah. So if I look at this relation X, right? This is where you'll understand the utility of describe command. Okay. So it says X is a group, right, of two of these, right? A and B. Okay, is it clear now? What we do? Vipul, is it clear now? Great. Yes, Vinayak is asking, all these programs generate MR code internally? Yes, they do. And if you've not really noticed it well, it was actually showing the MR code here when we ran this program, right? Everything will be running, see, on Hadoop, everything will internally be running as MR only. Okay. Great. So So we've understood the difference between group and co-group. Is everyone clear on the difference between group and co-group? How does group work? Can I get a quick yes from everyone? Okay. Now Shyam is asking me a question. Shyam, thank you for asking that. I'll just change that and show you how it works. What if there is an entry in B as Jack, roll number 17? How will the co-group output be? Okay. So let's see what it will be. Let me ask that question to everyone what Shyam has asked, and let's do the small exercise, everyone. Okay. Let's change that table to see this. So can everyone guess what will be the output, guys, quickly on the chat window before this completes? Let me hide it. Okay, a lot of people are coming with different answers. Very nice. Let's see what has actually happened. So this is your answer, and this is how it should be, right? So in the first table there is no entry for Jack. In the second table there is an entry for Jack. So this is how it will look. Right. Is this clear to everyone? Thanks, Shyam, for asking that. Yes, Rahul, you are right. You were right. Dipankar, why did you think that will be last line of the output? Any specific reason for that? Yes, Divya, you can always use a previously loaded. So Divya is asking me a question, can we access a previously loaded relation rather than loading again and again? Yes, you can use it. Just that since we changed the relation, we had to reload it. Okay. So if we had not changed it, we could have used that. Yes. And obviously it will be, okay. So and obviously the thing is that it will be, if you get out of the grunt shell, everything will go away. Okay. But as long as you are in the interactive shell, everything will remain. Is that fine, Divya? So I can always load. I mean, you can use the same relation. So right now, whatever A has, whatever B has, whatever X has will be there. Yes, Shyam, it is. It is exactly that. Okay, great. So the difference is clear. Let's go ahead. Anyone else has more questions on this? See, as such, Ramesh, there is no difference. Okay, great. Yes, Vinayak. Vinayak says, I have a conceptual question. Vinayak, please ask. I'm waiting, Vinayak, for you to ask your question. Okay, so I I have a few questions here. I'll just take up those. Vinayak is asking, so we have the big data. Vinayak, I don't know, maybe the big data sets. Your question is not yet complete. Let me take the other one. Vinayak, you can just, okay. We load the unstructured data into pig through commands. Right. Recording of this class, Rajat, will be available by today evening sometime. Okay. How do I see only Jack's output? Okay. If you alter the command by writing B and then A, what would be the output? Ramesh, I want you to try that on your own. Okay. That's very simple. You try it on your own, you'll figure it out. Okay. Okay, Vamsi. So that's why we said if you have completely unstructured data, we'll probably not use pig. Right. So Vamsi is asking if you have a completely unstructured data, how can we define data types, etc. while loading? Yes. So that's why, Vamsi. I mean, unstructured doesn't mean that it is, see that log file is also unstructured data, right? But you can still define in what format it is dumping it, right? What I want you guys, I mean, some of the questions are what will happen if this happens, what will happen if that happens. I think those things you should try on your own and then you have to figure it out. Okay. And those of you who are asking me what is the, give me an example of map, this is an example of map here. Okay. Right. So Joe is the key here and the other full part, this complete thing. Is that clear? Okay, Vinod, good. If you're able to get into current, that is very nice. So guys, is this clear to everyone? This is an example of map in a way. Yeah, Vinayak, that can be done using a filter. Okay. We'll come to that as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at how does a join actually work. Okay, not really join. But before that, okay. We've been doing a few things here, and we've been okay. So basically, there was a question earlier that how do I delimit it? How do I make sure that the how do I specify delimiter here? Okay. Now there are many ways of loading a file into Pig Latin. Okay. The default is binary storage where you are not specifying anything. Okay. You can store a file as Pig storage. There is a command called in the load command itself. You have to specify as. Okay. Yes, Shyam, your answer is also that. Okay. You'll specify as Pig storage, and there you can specify a delimiter. Okay, let me show you that the difference between bin storage and Pig storage. You'll understand what is the purpose of file loaders here. Okay, and others are very simple to understand, but let's see it with an example. Rajat, the session will go on as planned. Just that I want to show you more examples, so we'll have another session tomorrow as well at the same time, or just slightly here and there by half an hour. And we also had a small time today in the morning where Gaurav explained that. So it's anyways a big class, so I don't want to actually take it for a very, very long time. So that's why I've broken it. Okay, so we have this file. Let me just show you how to use the Pig storage thing as Pig storage. So notice the difference here. I think it is as Pig storage. And sometimes I'm not very. Let me just give me 1 second. I'll find the exact option and I'll show you. Yeah. Using Pig storage, and then we specify the delimiter. So if we have to, right, so earlier we had a default delimiter. If we have a specific delimiter, this is how we do it. Okay, is that clear to everyone, guys? You'll use this command using, let's see if, so it is able to show you this. Okay, so this is the difference. I mean, there are different load types. Pig storage is one where we can load it as a any delimiter, right? And this is the way to do it, using Pig storage, and then you specify the delimiter. Everything else remains the same. By default, we did not use this option to. It was going in bin storage where the default delimiter is tab. Is that clear to everyone, guys? The purpose of having this Pig storage. Divya, your question which you had earlier, how do I specify this, is answered. Few people had that question earlier, right? Thanks, Dipankar, for your help here. Really appreciate. Okay, great. Okay, now, okay. Let's see what are the other types of storage. There's a text loader which loads data line by line, delimited by a new line character. Okay. Then we have CSV, then we have XML. So if you have understood this concept of file loaders, yeah, please Ranjit, please ask your question. If the question is pertaining to file loaders, I'll answer it now. saying you want to load a URL content. Okay, so then I mean you can either use any of these ways. You can use a XML loader for that. Okay, I mean these are the types of loaders. Otherwise you can use a bin storage for that, or you can use the pig storage for that. Otherwise, if you cannot specify any of these, then pig is not the right way of doing that, using that data. Okay, Ranjit. Ranjit, is your question answered? Okay, you can okay, Ranjit, can we, I mean, what I'm saying is that you can use either of these depending upon your data type. If you have a delimiter where you know that, okay, this can be delimited as a space or say a semicolon or colon, then use pig storage type. If you know that it is line by line differentiated, then use the text loader. If you can specify it as a comma separated loader, the same thing which we did could be done using a CSV loader as well. Okay. Or you can use a XML. Yes, Ranjit. Okay, so I have a lot of questions on the screen now. Just let me go through them one by one. I mean, this fairly. Shyam, I'll explain that tomorrow. Okay, I'll get an example and then I'll explain it tomorrow. Okay, is that okay, Shyam? With your question. Okay. Let me look at other questions as well on this topic only. Anything which is not on this topic, I'll not answer it now. We can put it on the forum and we can answer that offline. Just give me 1 second, guys. The screen has gone up. Okay, so we have a question which says, just a second. Yes, so Vinod is asking, when you created student and student enroll, you did not mention any delimiter. In that case, does pick up? Yes, so default delimiter is tab. Okay. Yes, yes. Yes, Neeraj, that's right. Okay. Okay, so let me proceed now. Okay, so we know that. Okay, basically, see, the whole idea is, just a minute, Ramesh, just give me 1 second, Ramesh. Well, yes, Ramesh. Ramesh is asking, can you please check my understanding? Using pig, we are loading the data from file system into a table structure, then executing some command like group, etc. on those table to get more. Not really table structure. That is the difference between SQL and this. You are not putting it in a table structure. You have a file system. From the file system, you're loading directly into the memory in terms of relation. In that RAM itself, you're doing all these things. Okay. Okay, Ramesh. Okay. So I think Thanks. Okay, great. So now let's proceed. So we've understood the idea of file loaders. The whole thing which I wanted to explain you there is that there is something called file loaders, which are, I mean, you can do everything using a pig storage as well, right? Because pig storage, you can specify what is the delimiter. You can do really complex things here. But to make your life easy, we have text loader, CSV loader, and XML loader. Okay. Okay, so bin storage, Vinayak, is basically the default thing which we used. Any machine readable format can be there. The default delimiter there is a tab. Okay, is that fine, Vinayak? Okay, thanks. Files are loaded from HDFS to RAM and any of these loader to execute. Yes. Okay, so let me now, if you have all the questions answered on this, let me just go a little bit ahead. Okay, and let me show you what how does the compilation happen in a pig Latin program. Okay, so Dipankar, it is not really RAM, it is basically when we create a relation, is it available only to the, yes, when we create a relation, it will be available only in the active session of the grunt. Okay, it is session basically, Dipankar. Okay, okay, Dhananjay is asking, is there a way to save the data processed by grunt? Yes, store is the command to do that. Okay, that's what we saw. Let me show you that as well. Yeah, that's a good question. I should have actually shown it so that everything is completed there. I'll show you this. Before that, let me go and answer that question. That's a good question, Dhananjay. Okay, so let us do a let's dump something and then let's store as well. Let's dump A and dump it in. Okay, so this is the syntax for that. Store A into, and we'll specify directory name. Which directory do I have? Yeah. Okay, now let's see what is the output here. Okay, is that fine? So now one very important thing here, which I don't know if you've noticed that, was that when I did a dump A, it is showing me like this, right? In a comma separated format. When I dumped it into a file, right? When I did a store, by default, I did not specify that, right? So if I have to do that, then what I'll do is using pig storage. Using pig storage, and I can specify any delimiter here. Let me specify a comma here. Just a second. Okay, let me now see if I am able to get that in the. So now this is clear to everyone. This is the directory in which it is stored, and it is stored as part 0 because one map job was run. Okay, so this makes it clear that internally it is running a map reduce job only. Guys, is everyone clear? All these operations lead to a map reduce job. Dhananjay, your question is answered. How do I save data processed on grunt? Rajat, maybe I'll take that tomorrow. Okay. So everyone is clear on that load, store, describe, dump, and how, right? We are also clear on join. Sorry, join we have not covered yet. I'll show you join tomorrow. Okay. Because it looks like I'll not have so much time today. I'll show you join tomorrow, the first thing. And we'll also see running pig on that weather data set. Tomorrow morning we'll see that. Yes, Vinayak, we can do that as well. Wait a minute, a lot of questions are coming in. Is it as it is running the MR job so that all load store command run on data node? Yes. So whatever you do, right, all these commands internally get converted into MapReduce jobs and they run there. Exactly, Vamsi. So basically, real world, this is how it will be. Okay. Vinayak, maybe not in this class. Put that question on forum. I'll answer that. How do we do that? Okay. Yes, Ramesh, that will also happen. So see, whatever happens in a MapReduce, internally all those processes are happening there. Okay. Just that for your life, if you do not know Java, if you don't want to get into MapReduce, you can easily use Pig to do all these things. So a person from a say SQL background will be much more comfortable using Pig. He doesn't need to worry about how internally things are. Last week we had to understand so many things, right? What is map, how it is reduced, where to use map, where to use partitioner. We are all, now all that is transparent from us, right? Okay. Any more questions on this, guys? Or I'll proceed further then. I'll show you what are the compilation steps in a. Okay. Great. So I think most of the questions are answered right now. Let's go ahead. We've seen co-group, we've seen this storage. Okay. Basically, see, all the other things are very similar to any language compilation. The reason we've put it here is to show you this part, that finally it is converted into a MapReduce plan. Okay. And then you create a job jar to be submitted on the Hadoop cluster. So these are the steps which we saw. We saw a lot of things coming on the screen, right? First is query parser, then semantic checking. Okay, then you do a logical optimizer which will create a logical plan. Then it will be translated to a physical plan, then physical into MR translator. This will create a MapReduce job. Then a MR launcher will be there, and then you will create a job jar to be submitted to the Hadoop cluster. Okay, so this is the flow. Now the reason why I put it here is because we saw a lot of things happening on the command line when we were running this, right? So these are the things which were happening there. Let me just try to see if I can show you some. See, it is showing MR plan size before optimization, MR plan size after optimization. Okay. Then where does it show that launching MR job? Now it has already started that. Okay, so this is the job ID which it has created out of this. Okay. So these are the different steps which are happening when all this is running, right, in a pig compilation. Internally on the back end, all those things are happening. Okay, so these are the different steps which are happening in the back end when we look at it. The important thing again to understand is that physical to MR translation happens, and then it creates a job.dar which is submitted to a Hadoop cluster just like a MapReduce job. Okay. UDF सिखा See, Vijay, usually we will be using a pig script. Okay, we will not be using the grunt to do all these things. Grunt is more like an interactive thing. So yes, there is a limit. I'm not sure about the exact, but usually in your real life, you will be using a pig script to do all these things. Okay, you will not be running each command separately. You'll write it in a pig script and you will run it there. Okay. So I think next thing in this thing is that how to create a UDF. I'll probably not do it today. I'll probably do it tomorrow. Okay, I'll show you this tomorrow. Before that, what I want to do is that I want everyone to understand a couple of things. One is before tomorrow's session. You should all have run at least that grunt shell. You should have reached there. Okay, whether you are on the remote access or you are on the pig shell, okay, or on the Cloudera VM. Okay, so that's one thing which everyone has to do. The process to do is very simple. I showed you there as well. On the remote side, everything is there. Guys, where is that? Can we open that? Anyone from support team can come here. Just a second. Can you open this here LMS here? Hisham, can you open it? Just a second. I'll show you where to look at that. Okay, yeah. So just as I showed you here, you have to, you can download this. Yeah, for setting up pig, you can download this, follow the steps, you'll be all set. Then on these, I think I'll ask, guys, can we also put some of these small data which we used in this thing, in the sample codes which we used in this today? Okay, as soon as possible. Okay, maybe in an hour's time, we'll put all these things here. You can try out these things here. Tomorrow we are going to cover two important things. One is join. Okay, we will also run a pig. Using pig, we'll use the same weather data set which we used for MapReduce. Okay, we'll use that example, and then we'll also understand tomorrow how to use a UDF, a user-defined function, how to create a user-defined function, how to create a jar for that, how to integrate that in your pig, and then use it in a pig script. Okay, is that fine, guys? So I think that is what we'll look at Illustrate as well. Sure. Yeah. So let me just note it down. What all are the things we're going to cover tomorrow? And what is my expectation from you tomorrow? We'll cover Illustrate on a larger data set. I'll show you how does it actually work. Describe, everyone has understood, guys? Load, store, everyone has understood? Great. We'll show Illustrate. We'll see on the same weather data set. We'll use pig. I want everyone to do that example of the example which I gave in the initial part of the class today, to use that using MapReduce. You have to do that. The commands for the pig are here in that reference manual which I sent you. Okay, Amit? All the commands are there. We'll also see creation thing, a user defined function. Okay, creating a UDF is something which we'll see, and how to use it in Pig. Okay, so these are the things we are going to see tomorrow. We'll also see join. Okay, but before that, for you, set up Pig at your end. Number 2, run the sample commands which we showed today. Use MapReduce try. Using MapReduce on a 2 data example. Okay, the last part is not mandatory for tomorrow's class. You can do it during the week, but these 2 things are very important. Okay, is that fine? Yes, we can show the filter as well. Sure. Thanks, Vinayak. Yes, you can show the filter command as well. Okay, so this is what we are going to do tomorrow, and we'll probably send you the invite at around 9:30. 9:30 will be the time when we'll start tomorrow. We should not take more than 1.5 hours to reach there. Okay, to complete all these things. That should not, it will be more than enough. And if you have all the questions which you had today, something, if I change this in the table, how will the output come? I want you all of you to try that out at your end. Okay, is that fine, guys? Okay, so I think this is it for today. Okay, and we'll meet tomorrow again, maybe an hour or hour and a half depending upon the questions, but we'll be covering these topics tomorrow. We could have done it a little while today, but I mean, with the half hour thing which we had on the forum thing initially, we got delayed a little bit, but nevertheless, and I also want everyone to actually, sure, Ramesh, I'll do that. So I want everyone to actually do, so there is an assignment for week 4, you can start looking at that. Okay, everyone to start posting things in forum where you can ask your questions, we'll answer them. Your colleagues, your co-participants will also answer them. Okay, see you then tomorrow, guys. Thank you very much.